The South Carolina Republican primary is coming up on this Saturday. Today I'll analyze the immediate and broader political context going into this election. The Republican primary for president is down to a one-on-one race between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. Donald Trump has a commanding lead based off of his wins in Iowa and New Hampshire. But South Carolina is a huge opportunity for Haley. It's her home state, and it is her one big chance to turn around this primary. So I want to start by looking at the immediate context heading into this election. So first, let's look at this New York Times article published just a few days ago. Trump fraud trial penalty will exceed $450 million. This ruling in a civil fraud case in New York is really damaging to Donald Trump from the financial perspective. This massive penalty is really going to hinder him. And Nikki Haley has pointed this out. Look at this tweet from Nikki Haley. This is back from February 15th. Donald Trump is in court today. There will be a verdict on another case tomorrow, and he has a trial starting March 25th. Meanwhile, he's spending millions of campaign donations on legal fees. This tweet came out right before that decision that we looked at in the New York Times. The reality, and Nikki Haley sees it, is that Donald Trump's legal problems are mounting. And while I don't want to comment on individual cases, this is going to be really rough going into a general election. Let's continue with more of the context. Just yesterday on Truth Social, Donald Trump posted this. The sudden death of Alexei Navalny has made me more and more aware of what is happening in our country. It is a slow, steady progression with crooked, radical left politicians, prosecutors, and judges leading us down the path to destruction. Donald Trump missed a huge opportunity right here. This was his point, to condemn Russian President Vladimir Putin. Right now, there's this little movement in the Republican Party that's actually pro-Russia. It's not even just anti-Ukrainian, there's even some pro-Russian sentiment. And we see someone like Tucker Carlson that's posting these very positive videos from Russia that are really deceptive and misleading. When you look at Russia, it's a country that is political persecution if you disagree with the leadership in power. And Navalny is the prime example of that. Trump needed to condemn that. But he didn't, and this was Nikki Haley's response. Donald Trump could have condemned Vladimir Putin for being a murderous thug. Trump could have praised Navalny's courage. Instead, he stole a page from liberals' playbook denouncing America and comparing our country to Russia. Donald Trump right here has had some major blunders. A legal trial that didn't go his direction. Bad and weak messaging against Russia. And beyond that, when you look at their actual campaigns, Nikki Haley is dominating on the campaign trail. Look at this. This is Nikki Haley's event page. Just in a span of 3 days, you can see event after event after an event. She's circling the state trying to raise support. You go to Donald Trump's event page, there are only 2 events on the calendar as of the time of recording. And beyond that, when you look ahead to the general election, Haley outperforms Biden, but in many polls, Trump loses to Biden. Now, if you just watched this whole video and you had no context of the election, and you just heard what I said, you may think that Nikki Haley should be dominating, but she's not. Let's look at the South Carolina polls. As of February 19th, Trump is at 65%, and Haley is at 32%. Republicans are eagerly accepting Donald Trump. When you look at something like the civil fraud case in New York, that will turn away moderate support in the general election. But here in the primary, that is rallying Republicans around Trump. Here's the problem for the Republican Party. Republicans really seem to love Donald Trump. But the statistics show, his words show, that he will be a losing candidate in the general election. Nikki Haley could crush Joe Biden, but with Donald Trump, it's a neck-and-neck race. The question for South Carolina Republicans is this. Will they realize that? Will they put aside their Republican love for Trump and do what's right for the country? Thanks for watching. I'll see you after the South Carolina primary.